Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend and that the weather is treating you okay all over the country. So today we're going to actually do a tape review, and that's generally your guys' favorite call. So we're going to talk about fees or listen to an advisor work with fees, and there's a lot of things right and a lot of room for improvement. So we're going to talk about that. Before we do that, though, let's talk about the things that we need to be doing weekly, the 5-minute moneymaker. And it says, I recently read an article by an expert about giving good advice. Good advice is simple. Do we strive to have simple language for our clients when we're prospects, when we're doing the 200-point checklist? So let's see some answers to that. Do we strive for simplicity? Nick says yes, Cheryl says yes. Are our stories difficult, or why do we use parables? Well, that goes to number 2. It's understandable. So how about factual and relevant? Now here, 4 is an interesting one, relevant. Now, we could look at that a couple of different ways. And then when people come in, how many people really want a 21-point checklist when they first come to see us? 0, right, nobody. So what we do, though, by the end, how many of them are glad that we've done a 21-point checklist? All of them. Because they weren't worried about these things until we made them relevant. Were they worried about having a survivor's guide? No. Then we make it relevant to them. Were they worried about their power of attorney? No, but we make updating it relevant to them. And there's another word for relevant. What's the word we use? By showing them the what of not having it done properly. Who can get that answer? Consequences, Nick. Exactly. Nicholas says consequences. Yeah, Kevin says consequences. Yes, we show them the consequences. When you show them consequences of not having something done, all of a sudden that thing that they had no worry about becomes a huge in relevance. Okay. The breakdown was actually showing where a guy was, the client actually gave the person a lob and he fumbled it. And it could be because he was so surprised that things were going so well that he freaked out or whatever. But the thing is, when a client gives us a lob, be ready to run with it. Make sense? So one of the questions we're getting and with marketing is this. How do we convert to a 21-point checklist if they're doing an eye-to-eye? How are we converting to a 21-point checklist if they come in for healthcare and your wealth and income, which is really a lifelong term care hybrid presentation? How do you convert to a 21-point checklist when they come in from white glove, whether it's from Social Security or taxation, we do not recommend using the financial planning one for lots of reasons. If you want to know why, talk to Jeff, talk to myself, talk to Missy. But the other two, the Social Security and taxation, how do we convert them to a 21-point checklist for that? How do we convert them to a 21-point checklist if they come to us for Social Security information or taxes or Medicare or anything? How do we do that? It's the same way. It's the exact same way no matter how they come to us. No matter how they come to us. So whatever question they come with, whether they come and say, hey, how do I get that lifetime protection strategy from the healthcare and wealth and income seminar? How do I, why am I here for the eye-to-eye? All I need is this one piece of information. All I want you to do is show me how to reduce my taxes. All I want is my Social Security printout. All I want is some information on Medicare. How do we convert them to the 21-point checklist from anything? We've talked about this before. Does anybody remember how we do it? It's the one script you have that will convert, no matter what topic they have, it converts into a 21-point checklist. Wow, nobody? Okay, well then that's a good thing we're talking about this. Just want to talk about money script. Oh, Bonnie got it. Good job, Bonnie. Awesome. Wade got it. Jonathan got it. Okay, just want to talk about money. Just want to talk about money. This is the easiest way to convert them. Just want to talk about money. So what we're going to do is I'll just do a quick version for you. It's under the agreement meeting in the or under the library where you can find it. So it's just simply this. So Jeff, are you on the call?
Yep, I'm on the call.
Okay, so Jeff wants to know about whatever. He just wants to know how to reduce his taxes. So just go ahead and throw that at me. I'm going to do the quick version, guys. The real version is on the website, but just so you can get the feeling for this.
So yeah, we were kind of wondering, you talked about taxes and being able to show us how we can save money in tax. That's kind of what we were kind of curious about. See if you can kind of help us there.
Perfect. yeah, that's one of the things that we do, and I think we do pretty well. So I'm glad that's why you came in. If that's something that we do well, and that's why you came in, that's terrific. So can I ask you a quick question, Jeff, before we get started, showing you how to reduce your taxes?
Sure.
People on your block, are they all the same?
No.
They all have the same amount of money? Make the same amount of money?
No.
Neither, right? How about if they have the same amount of money, do they have it all in the same investment?
No.
Do they have the same health care, same age, same expenses, same lifestyle? Are they the same really at all?
No, not really.
No, they're not. And the reason I bring that up is there's a number of different ways to reduce your taxes. Do you think there's only one way to reduce everybody's taxes? If there was, what would everybody be doing?
Well, they'd all be doing it, I guess.
Yeah. So do you think there's just one way to reduce people's taxes, or there's all sorts of different ways to reduce taxes, and some are better than others for different people?
Yeah, I'm sure there's different ways.
Yeah. So if we showed you how to reduce your taxes, it would be perfect for your neighbor on your left-hand side, and it was only okay for you but lousy for the person across the street, would that be the right thing? If it was great for your neighbor, okay for you, and lousy for the guy on the street, who should we be showing that tax protection strategy to?
The neighbor that it's perfect for.
Yeah. And if one is perfect for you but lousy for your next-door neighbor but okay for the one across the street, who should we be showing that to?
To me.
Yeah. And if we show one that's terrible for the one next door, and it's okay for you and it's great for the guy across the street, who should we be showing that to?
The guy next door.
Yeah. So do we want a one-size-fits-all strategy, or do we want one that fits us perfectly?
No, we're looking for one that fits us perfect.
Yeah. So when I'm looking for a suit that fits perfectly, do I go to the local JCPenney, take one off the rack, and bring it home? Or do I go to Whole or Men's Warehouse, where they maybe take 3 measurements? Or if I really wanted one that fit perfectly, and it was free for me to do this, would I want to go to a custom tailor who's going to take maybe 10, 15 measurements and get it to fit me perfectly? Which one would I want if I wanted a perfectly fitting suit?
Well, you'd want the guy who does the 10 to 15 measurements.
Yeah. So there's certain things in life. I mean, health is one of them. Do I want the one-size-fits-all surgery, or do I want the doctor to take a few tests and give me the surgery that I need, not the one that the guy across the hall needs?
No, the one that you need.
So when it comes to health, do we want something custom fit or something one-size-fits-all?
No, something that fits us perfect.
And when it comes to our money, do we want one-size-fits-all or something that's custom fit?
Custom fit.
So the doctor did what before he decided took all sorts of what before he decided on the surgery?
Tests, measurements, that kind of thing.
What did the tailor do?
Same thing. Took a bunch of measurements.
So if we want something to fit you perfectly when it comes to your money for tax savings or whatever it may be, how many measurements should we take? One size fits all, or a few measurements?
You should take a few.
If all I did is give you one size fits all, I gave it the same thing to everybody walked in. Would I be a salesperson, or would I be a true advisor?
No, you'd be a salesperson.
And are you looking for a salesperson or a true advisor?
No, we're looking for a true advisor.
Yeah, so you want me to take no measurements or several measurements to get you the perfect fit?
Yes. Well, however many it takes, several.
Amen. That's good. That's how many it takes, right? If it takes 5, great. If it takes 15, great. So that's what this whole process is. So before I give you a recommendation on taxes, in order to find the thing that fits you perfectly, that's going to give you the biggest bang for the buck, I need to do what first?
Take some measurements.
Yep, take some measurements. And then does the tailor take the measurements and then fix your suit right there, or do you have to disappear for a couple of days and then come back?
No, he usually disappears for a while and comes back.
Yeah, and that's how we work. I'm going to take a bunch of measurements today. I'm going to take
Okay.
them back, find something that custom fits you, and then we'll get together and we'll review it. Does that sound like a smart way to do things or a dumb way to do things?
No, that sounds good.
So, should we wait with what's going to give the custom fit best scenario for your taxes, or should we just try to shoot from the hip today?
No, we should wait.
So, guys, no matter we use taxes there, what else could I use that for? What else could I use that for besides taxes? Yeah, anything. Not POA. Anything. Could I use that for Medicare if they just want to know about Medicare? Could I use that if they just want to know about Social Security? Could I use that if they just want to know about the lifestyle protection strategy, the life long-term care hybrid? Could I use that for everything? Do they want the thing that's one size fits all, or do they want the thing that's custom fit? How many people are going to say, I want the one size fits all? How many people that you ask that to, when you do that correctly and you have them answer the question, are going to say, I want the one size fits all? Nobody. Nobody, nobody, nobody. That's the easiest way to do it. A much longer way to do it is with tie the power of attorney to everything script. And then we also have a script that if we do a 21 light with people, how to convert them to a full 21-point checklist. These are the 3 scripts that you can convert anybody from any topic into a full 21. Make sense? So are we clear on any marketing? What are you going to do to get them in? Let's get a bunch of answers. Well, or not to get them in. When they do any type of marketing, how are you going to get them converted to a 21-point checklist? I want everybody to answer this so I know everybody knows the answer. Jay's got it. Keep going. Jonathan's got it. Nicholas got it. Greg's got it. Larry, Cheryl, Dale, Mike, come on. And now everybody's getting it. Keep going. I want more. Yeah, just talk about the script. Just talk about the script. Just talk about the, I'm sorry, just talk about the script. Just talk about the money. So are we clear now on how we convert that? Would that talk that I did with Jeff work for any of those things? Yes. Okay. If it doesn't, send us the tape. Yep. So, well, Gary says make sure they know one size fits all. Did I do that in the script, guys? Did I have them tell me one size does not fit all? How many times did I have them say that? Once, or how many times? What was the whole thing? So Gary, what was the whole thing about me talking to Jeff about his neighbor and the guy across the street? What was the whole thing about that, Gary? Well, why was I talking about that? To make sure they what? So why did I do, Gary, why did I do that? Why did I say, Jeff, so do you, if I have a tax thing that's just okay for you, horrible for the guy next door to you, and great for the guy across the street, who should I show that particular thing to? Why did I do that with, Gary? Yeah, go ahead.
The guy across the street.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So, Gary, did your internet break? So why did I do that? Thank you. Yeah, so and not only do I'm not just trying to tell them something, that they know that one size does not fit all. That's why. Make sense? So today we're going to do a tape review on fees. And this particular fee, what kind of fees do we have? We have fees on different types of investments, but do we also have different types of fees? What is it? What besides the management fees? What other kind of fees do we have? Turnover weight. So that's what we're going to talk about today is turnover. So turnover, the first thing we want to talk to them, get them to tell us is buy and hold is a good thing or a bad thing? A good thing. So why do we need to get them to tell us buy and hold is a good thing? That anybody who didn't do buy and hold is an idiot investor. They're downstairs in their basement doing day trading. That's the example I use. How many thinks a guy in the basement doing day trading is an intelligent way to invest? That's right, Jonathan. So they can't say trading is good. So that we need to get them to say that if we're going to be a good investor, I mean, what does Warren Buffett do? What does Warren Buffett, John Bogle, what do the big guys do? What do they all recommend? Trading or buy and hold? And not only hold, Dave, you're right, hold forever. So we're going to get them to tell us hold forever. Because if they tell us that, if they tell us doing any other way is silly, what's going to happen when they find out that their account's being turned over at 80% or 120%? Is there going to be any argument there then that that's a good thing? So I have to do that at first. Now, and do they have any, if I do that first, do they have any reason to argue with me at that point? The only reason they'd argue is if they're a day trader. Do you want a day trader as a client? No. But if they're a normal person, how many people are going to argue that buy and hold is a good thing? And see, they have nothing on the table. If I show them, the first thing I do is show them they have a high turnover, and they don't want to look stupid, guess what they can say? So let's hear some examples of that. If I did not do the buy and hold first, I just jump in to the turnover and show them that their account's being turned over a gazillion times, what could they say to protect their dignity? Yeah, my advisor, that's Cheryl, that's one. My advisor protected me. If he's investing in something bad, I don't want to stay in something bad. He's getting me into that new thing. I don't want to ride the thing to the bottom. They could say all sorts of silly things. Yeah, or I'm still getting a good rate of return. That's right, Steve. They could say that too. So they could say all sorts of things that they don't really mean. But if you try to point out that they're silly, they're going to say things they don't really mean. But if they've already said buy and hold is not a good thing, but the only way to do it, guess what they can't say? Well, I know that I just said buy and hold is a good thing here a few minutes ago, but I've changed my mind. I think that's a stupid way to do it. I think I want to be trading all the time. See, they won't change their minds. So my point here is, if we're telling a joke and there's 5 parts to the joke, those parts have to be in what? If I'm telling a joke and those in order, right? So if you do these things out of order, you do everything on this the crib notes here, you do them out of order. Guess what can happen to you? You can get bit. Okay? So you want to do things in order. So let's listen to this advisor, and let's see if he does things in order. So here we go.
Did a bunch of research in here, and I want to talk about a couple different areas. First is fees. So you've got, you're presently paying about $6,400 a year in account fees, which is kind of normal. It's right about 1% for you.
64,000.
About 6,400.
Okay.
But you've got about 16,600 per year in something called annual turnover cost, which is hard to see. So would it be okay if I cover that with?
At this point, is she confused or certain of what's going on? Because he said you got $6,400 in fees, and that's pretty normal, and you got this 16,000 turnover, and she's like, whoa, wait, where did the 6,400 come from? And I thought you said 6,400. Now you're telling me it's 16,000. Which is it, 6,400, 16,000? Does she even get that there are 2 different types of fees? No. So remember, the first start of fees, we always start, first of all, when we start the fees, what's the first thing we talk about before we go into fees? Do you like things sugar-coated, or do you like things straight? That way they know that there's going to be information they may not like coming down the road, but if they say they want it straight, which they always do, what have they said they're okay with? Only good news or also bad news? Also bad news. So we always start out with that, and you didn't hear this, but he did not do that either. Then we go through fees, and with fees, do we say all fees are bad, or all management fees are okay? If they're what? Fair. Do I just say, okay, you're paying $6,400 in management fees, boom, let's talk about this other thing? Or do I say, now, first thing we need to know is we look down here and it shows that your management fees are 1%. Now, do you want your manager to do it for free, or do you think he needs to get paid something if you want him to do a good job? So we go through that whole thing about management fees, and all we want is, it's okay to have fees. Fees are not bad, they're okay, but we want them to be what? Reasonable, or we want them to be fair. We have to do that before we jump into the other one. And why are we doing that? To show that we're what? Reasonable, that we're fair. Make sense? Second of all, it then allows us to put that management fees on the table and move on to the next thing. By just glancing over that and jumping into something else, she ends up being confused, okay? And we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to back it up a bit. Here we go.
64,000.
About 6,400.
Okay.
Okay, so he said 6,400. She said what? What did she say? Did you hear that? I'll back it up a little further.
Fees. So you've got, you're presently paying about $6,400 a year in account fees, which is kind of normal. It's right about 1% for you.
64,000.
About 6,400.
Okay.
But you.
So she said 64 what? He said 6,400. She said, okay. So what does that tell us about her knowledge of what's going on right now? Nothing. An okay is worth, an okay is the same thing as a yes, it's the same thing as a no. It means what? We have no clue where she's at right now. If she was confused there, right? So we need to if somebody's confused, first thing we do is do what? First thing we do is what? Not stopping back up. Fall on the sword. You're right. Apologize. I'm sorry. I'm putting the cart before the horse. I'm just throwing out numbers like Kid and Caboodle. I've been looking at this for a week, but I expect you to get it. What I'm talking about. Something I've been looking at for a week. I expect you to get it in 10 seconds. I apologize. I'm sorry. Throwing out numbers like that. What a silly man I am. You know, here's what we're talking about. There's different types of fees, and then you go in, and I'm going to ask bigger questions or smaller questions then. Smaller questions. Smaller, smaller, smaller. But the first thing I'm going to do when she's confused is apologize. And I got to make sure she understands then what that 6,400 is about and whether it's fair or not fair. He said it's about 1%, so it's fair, but go ahead and have her say that. So that has her know that you're not saying everything is horrible, but you just don't want to zip through it like that. Make sense? Okay, now he's going to get into the turnover fees. So here we go.
Up 6,400. But you've got about 16,600 per year in something called annual turnover cost, which is hard to see. So would it be okay if I cover that with you a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so turnover, you can see that, right?
So has he had the buy and hold conversation at all yet? He's right into it. So he could be, he has not had the buy and hold conversation. He could be setting himself up for what? An argument. Because if she feels like defending her guy or her situation, sometimes these people aren't even defending their guy, they're defending their choice in choosing that guy. And if they admit the guy themselves, right, Wade? If they admit the guy is wrong, they have to admit that they're also what? Not a very good judge of character, that they're wrong, exactly. So I'm going to back it up here and keep playing.
So turnover, you can see that, right? Right here.
Where do you see the 6,400? Because I've never found.
So she's back to what? See, he's back to the 6,400. So is that clear? When she said okay, what did the okay mean? There's proof. When she said okay, it meant what? Nothing. It meant, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's what it meant. Make sense?
Any fees for Edward Jones there, and I've never gotten credit with my taxes.
So she just said what about the 6,400? What did she just say about 6,400? Baloney. No, you guys are saying tax deduction. That's not what she's saying. She's saying she doesn't believe it. I'm going to play. She does bring up the taxes. Don't get me wrong, but she's saying, hey, Edward E. Jones, they never told me. My tax guy, he never told me. So you must be what? If my Edward E. Jones guy doesn't tell me, and my accountant doesn't tell me, guess what I think about your 6,400? Full of beans, exactly. So go back. So he said, hey, did a whole bunch of research. What else did he forget to do? Validate what? Yeah, Morningstar, third party. There we go.
400, because I've never found any fees for Edward Jones there, and I've never gotten credit with my taxes.
Yeah, it's hard to...
Yeah, and something you guys should know, turnover is separate from fees, isn't it? It comes after fees. Okay, so he should have already had her validate Morningstar, that it's third party, etc., on the previous script. Instead, how did he cover the previous script? Hey, you got $6,400 fees, they're fair, boom, let's go. Do you understand why you can't, not only can you not skip crib notes, you certainly can't do what? Skip whole scripts. You should have been going through the fees with the mutual funds. He did not do that. He just said, oh, the fees are 1%. Now, is it our job to tell them whether the 6,400 is fair or not? We can tell them what it is, but if you tell them 1% is normal, they can say what? I still think it's what? A lot. See, they need to say it. You can't skip scripts, and part of the initial fee script is about doing what with Morningstar? The script that he skipped a major part of that is Morningstar. And what do we need them to say about Morningstar? Validating it. It's third party. Understanding it's information that does not have a bent or a bias to it. And by not doing that, she doesn't even know what Morningstar is. All he says, I did a bunch of research. No. So not only did he skip the buy and hold, he skipped the whole script that should have come previous to this. So here we go.
Well, even the tax people aren't able to give me credit for any fees for Edward Jones.
So what has she just said about the $6,400? Baloney. So Edward Jones never pointed out to me. My tax guy never gave me any credit for it. So the $6,400, I'm confused.
With these strategies, we may be able to help with that. Sort of make sure the tax people can see it. But see, this is one of the 20.
So then what's he do instead? So I'm going to back it up so you can hear the whole thing. Not all the way, but this whole part about Edward E. Jones and the taxes. So here we go.
Yeah, it's hard to see them, isn't it?
Well, there's no place, even the tax people aren't able to give me credit for any fees for Edward Jones.
If you stick with fee strategies, we may be able to help with that.
So what he's missing, say, hey, you know what? You want to deduct your fees? I'll show you how to deduct your fees in the forward. He's missed the whole point here, which is what has she said about the 6,400? Wade's got it. Who else? Okay, everybody's getting it. That it's baloney. So now here's the problem. If she thinks that's baloney, what is she going to think about everything or be suspect of everything that comes out of my mouth going forward or not? I can never let them think I'm full of baloney. The meeting has to stop. It cannot move forward at any point if they think I'm full of baloney. I need to fall on the sword, go back, ask smaller questions so they realize that what I'm saying is true, or I cannot move on. So what would you add to that, Jeff?
Well, I would agree with that. If you lose credibility at some point, they'll disbelieve everything that you've said. Nothing. If you're wrong about this, you're wrong. You could be wrong about everything. And all you're going to get is, you know what, I need to think about this. I need to talk to people. I need to figure out what's going on because I'm just confused. The other thing I would tell you is, I guess a couple other things. One, I hear this a lot when I do tape reviews with people. I'll say something like, oops, you forgot this part. Nope. I think I say it later. Just keep listening.
Yeah.
Well, guys, later's too late. Later's too late.
That's like giving the punchline to a joke at the beginning.
Yeah, it's.
You know, I gave you the punchline.
And the thing you have to remember is sometimes it seems odd that we're insisting that you do it in this order, but the reason that we're insisting that you do it in this order is from experience. We know from 50,000 tapes that one of the things people often say is, well, yeah, of course he sold the stock. It was a dog. He didn't, well, I don't want to write it all the way down. That's why buy and hold comes first. It's not because we're just trying to be picky. It's because we know from 50,000 tapes that if you don't want that to happen to you, you have to have that conversation there.
You have to. Because if you get it in the wrong order, see, like just through experience, we've learned that if you don't do it in the right order, they can start to fight you. And then we show you how to fix it when they fight us, but boy, that's 20 minutes out of your meeting that you did not need to waste overcoming an objection. So committing to buy and hold up front, already knowing that Morningstar is a valid resource, those are things that you need to do up front, not deal with them when they blow up in your face down the road. So keep going here.
One of the 23 funds you have, every one of them I have a report like this.
Okay.
All the fees for each one are listed down here.
Okay.
So for instance, this one fund is 0.67, kind of 2/3%.
And it's called, okay.
It's actually a blend. There's management fees and then something called 12B1 fees for this particular fund.
So is he doing the 5Q process, or is he telling, selling, preaching, and teaching? Yeah, He's trying to show how smart he is. Does it work to get people to move their money to you by being smart? And that's a hard thing to know, because your whole career, what has every single manager told you? What has every single BD told you? What has every single person you ever talked to told you need to show the client? That you're smart. That's why they think you should get your CFP. That's why they think you should get all those letters behind your names. That's why they think you should get the best software, so you can show how smart you are, that you are smarter than dudes. That is not what gets people to move their money to you.
Expenses.
Yeah.
They call it an expense for me.
So if you have an expense, you've got to have that much earnings before you can have any positives, which is what makes this a concern for me. So each page has one of these. I blended them all together. And so what I'm looking at right now is this turnover ratio of 96%. Now, these reports I'm getting from a source called Morning.
Does she even know what turnover is yet? She has no clue what turnover is. See, so he's using, as Jeff just said, this is the example of what Jeff was saying. He is using the right words. And if I said, dude, you're not doing this, he's going to say, no, wait. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in a few minutes. I'm going to do that thing you said I'm not doing. I do that in a few minutes. He's using the right words, but they're in the what? Wrong order. Guys, if there's 5 parts to a joke and I put the climax in the middle, what happens to the joke? It does not work. If you use these scripts but you do them in the wrong order, they're not going to work. See, what you start to do is telegraph where you're going. And when you start to telegraph where you're going, guess what they're going to do? When you start to telegraph that you want that turnovers, that buying and selling stocks is a horrible thing, that's right. They're going to fight back. They're going to parry. They're going to parry that. Okay? You don't want them to do that. And yeah, so she's at this point. I'm a little bit behind on my slides, guys. I get involved in the tape and I get behind on my slides. So he's telling, selling, preaching, teaching right now. He's getting the right words, but in the wrong order.
Have you ever heard of Morningstar? So what is Morningstar? Do you know?
See, is he using the right words? Now he is. So now that he's already popped this, the reason he's bringing it, why is he bringing up Morningstar right now? He ignored it to begin with. Why is he bringing it up now? Because now he senses what? She's doubting him. That's right. She's questioning where the numbers come from. And now is a problem. Because now what can she say about Morningstar? Edward E. Jones didn't tell me about these fees, and my accountant didn't tell me about these fees, and now you're throwing me this Morningstar thing, and I'm supposed to believe them over my accountant? Guys, do you really think they're going to believe Morningstar over their accountant? No. So when do I have to get them to tell me they believe Morningstar? Before we even talk about what we're doing with their, they have to validate Morningstar before we even talk about their particular investments. Do you get that? It has to be before we even bring their investments into the whole conversation. Because at that point there's nothing on the table. They have nothing to defend. We're just having a conversation about why third party is better. Now he's sensing, oh crap, I took a shortcut here. I ignored that fee script. I ignored it again at the beginning of turnover, and now she's doubting me. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to prove to her that Morningstar is the right. That's not good, guys. Getting this stuff in the wrong order can cause you problems.
It rates stocks.
Yeah.
But I don't know much more than that.
Yeah, they're basically a company that sells data. And so I could get my information on each mutual fund from Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones. I could get it from Charles Schwab. But why do you think I don't want to go to Merrill Lynch, let's say, for their opinion?
So now he's asking that great question because he said, why do I want to not go to Merrill Lynch for their info? So he's doing that, but he should have done that where? In the script, even before the turnover script. It belonged in just a plain old fee script, not even in the turnover script. It belongs in the script that should have been done previous to the turnover. But he did ask a good question. I'm going to back it up just so we see how this goes again.
So I could get it from Charles Schwab, but why do you think I don't want to go to Merrill Lynch, let's say, for their opinion on mutual funds?
Well, because they're only going to give you the best story about themselves. And
yeah. So they're not really, they want to sell things.
So he did ask a great question, and he got the answer he was looking for. So he goes, yeah, well, they're only going to show you what benefits them. Let's see how he deals with that here.
Story about themselves. And
yeah. So they're not really, they want to sell things.
Yeah.
So I don't know how unbiased they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then what do you do with their answer? Did you catch that? I'm going to back it up. Wade got it. Yeah, Jonathan got it. Nicholas got it. Yeah, so listen to this again.
Well, because they're only going to give you the best story about themselves. And
yeah. So they're not really, they want to sell things.
Yeah.
So I don't know how unbiased they are.
Mm-hmm.
Morning.
So now, see, he's back to telling, preaching, and teaching. He should have parroted right. He should have parroted, Wade, exactly what she said. But by improving on it, it sounds like he has a bone to pick. Do you get that? Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously they're going to want to. No. Can you say anything bad about their guy? Can you say anything bad about the industry? You can never say anything bad. The only people that can say something bad about their situation, about the industry, about their company is who? Her. And yes, she did say that they were only doing it so they could sell their own stuff. Does that mean you jump on her bandwagon and say, yeah, I mean, they're all trying to screw people, and yeah, I can't believe. No, you're still saying bad things. You can parrot her because that's not you talking. That's you just validating what she said. But is paraphrasing and parroting the same? So when I say when I say Polly wants a cracker, does the parrot say, yeah, Polly's looking for maybe a Ritz, and how about a dab of peanut butter on that? Is that what the parrot says? What's the parrot say when I say Polly wants a cracker? Polly wants a cracker. That's what the parrot says. So parroting means what? Parroting. When you start paraphrasing, you start improving, as some of you made the comment, improving her answer, then guess what? Now you're saying bad things. And that means you have a vested interest in saying bad things. And why do you have a vested interest in saying bad things about the industry and about her advisor? Because you want her to what? Move the money to you. So that makes them start to think, oh, Mike's just saying that because he wants me to think that my advisor's bad or the industry's bad or my investment's bad. They start thinking that Mike is saying that for this reason. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Mike is saying that for this reason. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. So guess what I try never to do? What do I try like the Dickens never to do? Say, not even say a bad thing. Do I ever try to say even a good thing? What do I try never to do? Say anything, Jonathan. Yes, say anything. What do I do continually over and over? What do I do 5 times a minute? Ask questions. I do not want to make a statement. If I make a statement, guess what? Guys, you've known me all long enough. Am I an argumentative person at heart, do you think? Go ahead and hit me in both eyes with it. Yes. So guess how I avoid arguing? I never say anything. If I never say anything, guess what they can't do? Argue with me. Does that make sense? So here we go.
SAR's not selling mutual funds. They sell access to information about mutual funds. So they're an unbiased, objective place for me to get information. And in case you can't tell, I try to be real unbiased, really. Okay,
so what'd she say? So Morningstar is an unbiased a place that I get my information. What'd she say? Okay, what's that worth? So how do you do on that? Even he did it out of order, and then did he even use the right words? No, he's telling, preaching, teaching. Cannot do that, guys.
If we have some type of motive, right? So, okay, so this is what we got first that I'd like to talk about is this $16,000, $17,000 a year in turnover costs. So let's pretend we're talking about Qualcomm. All right.
Did he even have her identify that number on Morningstar on the sheet? He had her identify it on the 21-point checklist. Did he have her identify it on the sheet? Nope, he did not. So I guess I wonder whether it even be valid if he had her identify it on the Morningstar sheet, because at this point, do we know whether she even thinks Morningstar is believable or not? No, we have no clue whether she believes. But even so, what if we did not know that if she believed in Morningstar or not, and then we had her say the number on the bottom of Morningstar? What do you think she would say? So Jeff, what do you think she would say if she didn't believe in Morningstar, but I had her state that the Morningstar said there was a turnover of 123%?
How does Morningstar know that?
Yeah, she would fight it. Also, does she have any clue where the 16,000 came from? How does turnover equate to $16,000? So look at the turnover script here. Has he done anything in order so far? You'll find by the end of this 15 minutes, I don't know if we'll get there, but by the end of 15 minutes, guess what? He covers everything. He just does it in the wrong order, and he does it via telling, selling, preaching, and teaching instead of letting the client tell him. So guess what's going to happen when you use all the points that you tell them instead of having them tell you, and you do them in the wrong order. Now, when I did this, when I did my tape review of this guy, guess what he insisted? When I came to the 5Q system, guess what he insisted? Jeff, you know what he insisted. What do you think he insisted, Jeff?
That he did it. He did it the way that we told him to do it.
Yeah, everybody's saying that. They did it right. And then even when I reviewed it with him, he said the very thing that Jeff said that too many guys say. No. Michael, I do cover that. Listen. Yeah, and he covers it 7 minutes too late at the wrong point, and he covers it instead of who? Her, yeah. He covers it instead of her. So here we go.
If you read in the newspapers that Qualcomm had 96% turnover, so that every 100 employees.
Okay, now he's finally going to talk about what? Turnover, where it comes from. He's already down here in the costs. He's already told her how much it costs, but he's now going right here. That's silly.
Of them quit every year, and they had to rehire them. Does that sound like it's good for the company, good for Qualcomm, or bad for Qualcomm?
Bad. Now, turnover, you're telling me I have 96% turnover.
It means on average.
See, now she's getting confused. Is she even letting him? He's doing the right thing, but is he even getting her? Is she totally engaged in the story on why turnover is bad at a company? No, because she's still back thinking about the numbers. Do you get why doing it in the wrong order hurts you? Because she's not fully engaged in the conversation now. She's still thinking about the numbers. So when do we cover the numbers? Before or after she agrees that she understands how things work, and that if they don't work that way, they're bad? It has to be after.
Average, if your mutual funds own 100 stocks, that they're selling 96 of them every year and replacing them with another one. So I'll let you decide if that's good or bad, but I want you to see what it means.
I will say at least he's doing that. The one thing he's doing very well is he's trying to avoid saying what? That all these things are bad. He's letting her make the decision. So he is doing that right. He's trying like the Dickens not to say bad things. We caught him in one little error here a minute ago, but he is trying to say, I'm going to let you make the decision whether this is good or bad. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm going to let you. That is a good thing that he's doing. Unfortunately, that is the preponderance of what he's doing because it's out of order, and he's telling, selling, preaching, teaching. Even though he's doing this right, by doing this right, he's at least preventing an argument. He may not be getting an agreement with her, but at least she's not yet arguing with him. And that's by making sure she understands that he does not, trying to make sure she understands he doesn't have a bone to pick. Do people get what I'm saying, or am I talking Greek there? I get a yays or nays? So most people got it. A few people are confused. What am I, Jeff? Can you help me out there?
You have to, I guess the analogy that he's doing a good job. He's getting her to, he is getting her to say, he is communicating that I'm not here to tell you whether this is good or bad. I'm just here to let you decide for yourself. But what he doesn't get is she's already decided. How do I know she's already decided? Because I heard her say, this is baloney. She's already decided.
My advisor didn't see this, show it to me, and the accountant didn't show it to me.
Nobody sees this. My advisor doesn't see it, which, okay, but my accountant doesn't see it. Nobody sees this. You must be making this up. She's already decided. So it's good that he's saying, I'm going to let you decide. But what he's not hearing is that she already decided. I already know what she decided. How do I know? She said it out loud in her own words. That's what she decided. And now he's going to try and change her mind. But guys, changing somebody's mind after they've said something out loud, really, 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 really hard. Beyond the abilities of most everyone on the call. It just is too hard.
It really is. I mean, that's why we do things in order. I'm not. I can do it, but boy, it's way more work to overcome something after it's already up. That's why I try to avoid it by doing it beforehand.
Because turnover has stuff that comes along with it, basically.
Yeah.
So
what I want to know, is it Edward Jones doing that, or is it the actual funds that are turning over within the funds separately? And you said I had how many funds?
Looks like you have 23. Now, Edward Jones picked which ones to suggest.
Why do you think she asked that question, guys? Now, I want to know, is it Edward Jones doing this, or is the mutual funds doing this? Why is she doing that? Who to blame, Nicholas? Who to blame? Motive. And guess who she's defending her advisor, Jonathan. Yes, you guys get it. She's defending her advisor. It's not my advisor's fault. It's the doggone fund's fault. So let's see if he recognizes this and can you let it lay there, guys? Can you let her defend the guy like that? No. So he's got to tell her, no, you guys say, that is a fantastic question, Agnes. I mean, where do these fees come from? It's from the funds. It's from the funds. No, it's not Edward Jones charging or trading your stocks like that. It's the funds doing this. And if we think about it, there's how many thousands of different investments out do you think there are, Agnes? Oh, I don't know, probably a lot. Well, in fact, there ends up being about 8,000 to 15,000 mutual funds, depending on how you count them. So out of the 8,000 mutual funds, which ones did Edward Jones pick for you? The ones that had a high turnover or low turnover? See, I've got it. I can't let her defend her guy. But let's see what happens.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So the funds they picked.
And again, he wouldn't be in this situation if he'd done what, guys? He would not be in this situation in order if he did the things in order. Exactly right.
What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say it's Qualcomm, and 96% of the employees leave every year.
And now he's back into the whole analogy about the company. So guys, that ship is what? Because he didn't do things in order, guess what? That ship is what? Failed. I mean, what's the point at this point? We're already talking about the actual fund and turnover, so why are we talking about the company at this point? You see, now it's going to, that story is going to confuse her more than help her.
And they have to replace them. So just on, do you feel it's good for the company or bad?
Bad.
Not bad, right? Mm-hmm. And so they've got to replace these companies. So advertising, right? That's kind of a cost. And then when they advertise, then what do you have to do with all the candidates once you've advertised?
Interview
them, right? And then there's some type of hiring, and here's your uniform, and here's your this. And then, do you think they're as productive as the old, like when you quit and they put some young person out of college, are they going to be as productive right away? Do you think?
No, they're not, but then they're only going to get paid a quarter what they've paid me. So, a certain way, the company benefits from that.
Because he telegraphed where he was going, what she's saying about turnover at a company. Because he telegraphed where he's going. The turnover's bad in your accounts. When he goes back to the story, she's saying what? It's not so bad. It's good because now they're only paying the people who they paid hired to replace me a quarter of what they're paying, so they come out okay. So what's she implying about her investments and turnover in her investment accounts? Yeah, it's okay too. I mean, if they're getting rid of that bad investment and replacing it with a good investment or an investment that's smart, that's going to be good. See, she would never have said that if he had started with that. I'm telling you, she would never have said that if he'd started with that. But because he telegraphed where he's going, guess what she's going to start to do? Push back. Push back, push back, push back. Defend. So we're only about halfway through this. Well, we'll keep going a little bit here. So let's go.
With companies, yeah, if you can lower the salary for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you get rid of a stock.
So he did not argue with her. He got on her side and agreed with her. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
You can lower the salary for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you get rid of a stock that's a loser, you get one that's a winner.
Exactly.
And then what do you just do? Dude, what did he just frickin' do? Told her she was what? Validated her, bailed her out. He's right, exactly.
Right, sort of equal, you don't have the salary
You don't have the
reduction.
money things, yeah.
You've got training, hiring, advertising. So turnover has costs that come with it when you're a company. If we look inside of mutual,
Who said turnover has costs? He did. So at this point, where are we? So we're 5.5 minutes into this. What has he accomplished so far? Does she believe the numbers? Does she believe the fees? No. Does she believe Morningstar? No. Does she believe the turnover is a bad thing? No. So guess what we have? 5 minutes. And I would say not even have not accomplished anything. We have accomplished one thing. So Jeff, what have we accomplished at this point? I love before. What do you guys think we've accomplished at this point? Let's see if you can pick up on this Jeff. Before you answer, let's see. It's not even zip. We're negative. Why? She's defending her advisor. He's discredited himself. She is confused. That's all three of those things. So in 5 minutes, not only do we not move forward, she defended her advisor out loud. He's discredited himself because what he said was not believable, and she's confused. That is what? Now, this is a guy who would you say has a good handle on 5Q? He does, but he did it what? Out of order. Why do you think, guys, why do you think we give you the crib notes? Why do we say use the crib notes? Why did Tricia go to the trouble of turning the crib notes into an agenda so the client can't tell what you're looking at? Yes, Chris, to keep you in order. Right, Dave, to keep you in order. Stay on track. So, dudes, you should learn this until you get it right, or you should learn it till what? So you get it right, so you can't get it wrong. And I talked to 3 different advisors last week, 3 different advisors that had unbelievable successes. And they were all just saying, why doesn't everybody do this? Why don't they take the time to learn this? Man, the client knew exactly what they're supposed to say. The client knew exactly what they're supposed to say. It was like they knew the script. This thing is awesome. I can't believe it. 3 different advisors, and it's funny, all 3 of them, their comment was, why doesn't everybody learn it like we did? And what do I tell them, guys? What do you tell them, Jeff, when I had 3 people say that, quote unquote, why don't the advisors learn this the way I did? Because this thing is sweet. This is the first time in my life I feel in control. This is the first time I know what a client's saying. So, Jeff, why, Jeff?
Yeah, and that's
advisors not learning this.
Yeah, that's what I ask too. I mean, why? Yeah, you're right. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why.
But you know what? We got tons of advisors that are doing it right, and we just had. It's been a long time since I had 3 advisors have that epiphany all in the same week. So kudos. I don't know if that was just luck or whatever, but 3 advisors had the same epiphany this last week, which was this thing is. It's the clients knew the answer. You out of my way. And 2 of them now have already signed up for double the marketing they were normally going to do. They've actually booked out through a full 12 months because they saw guess what, guys, at this point, guess what they are? I mean, you think I sound excited. Guess how they sounded. And I am excited. I'm excited because the one job that the one part of my job that I love is when I get the call where the advisor finally gets it, because they see the world laid out before them, and the world is their oyster, because they know, geez, every time I get in front of somebody, I now have the tools to make them say exactly what I want them to say, to discover exactly what they need to discover, which is that my guy not only is not doing his job, he's not doing his job on purpose. He's got a motive to do these things to me, and I can't stand working with him anymore. And that's whether it's a guy or it's Fidelity. One of those guys, the people did it with Vanguard. So there was two people with advisors, and one of the advisors, two people that had worked with people that, so the three advisors last week that had the epiphany, two of them worked with or had a meeting with people who had advisors. The third one dealt with Vanguard. And guess what? Guess what the scripts did for the Vanguard person? Guess what the scripts did for the Vanguard person? Nobody's answering? The same exact thing. Same exact thing. So guys, the main thing I want you to get out of this is you can know it, but if you tell, sell, preach, and teach it, it does not work. You can know it, but if you get the parts in the wrong order, it does not work. Now, it ends up, this guy did close her. He did get her, but he got her because of his skills, or he got her because of the 21-point checklist and a little bit of luck. Yeah, the 21-point checklist shows that he cares and shows that he's different. Now, I'm probably an idiot, Jeff, and you could probably slap me upside the head after we get off the phone here, for saying that even though he screwed it all up, he closed her. So why do we make that point, Jeff? So that people don't go back and learn it so they can't get it wrong? So why do I make that point?
Well, the 21-point checklist has value. It does communicate things. The sheer fact of doing it communicates to people that you care and that you're different. But if you want to close everybody, if you want to get the toughest people, you have to do it right. Doing it does have value.
Who is the
doing
toughest
it
people,
right,
Jeff?
Yeah.
Jeff, who's
What's
the toughest
that?
people? Who's the toughest people?
People
People who have what?
Have advisors who have
have lots of money. That's who the toughest people are.
Yeah, and that's a strange thing too, because I hear people say, well, these people, they're sophisticated. What's that supposed to mean? That they don't deal in bullshit? I mean, that's not what we're peddling anyway. What difference does it make? It shouldn't make any difference. So we're helping people discover things that are real, that are true, that are already in the back of their mind. So sophisticated or not, if you do it right, it works.
And that's, I mean, Friday was the best Friday I had in a long time, to have three guys have that epiphany, three guys have their first meeting where the client said exactly what I said they were going to say. That was an awesome week. Let's have lots more weeks going forward. With, again, guys that are doing this, and I've been doing this for years, and it's working. I get you, and I kind of ignore you guys, and I know you're on the call just to keep fresh. But I'm talking to all the newer guys that are still struggling to have that epiphany, because that's the joy of what I do. So hopefully this was instruction. You know, we can continue with this tape review next week if you want, or I've got other agendas as well. So is this a tape review you'd like to take to the end? I need a bunch of yeses or nos. Okay, so Missy, can you write down for me 5:15, which is where we'll start next week?
Yep, I've got it.
Oh, we got one no, and everybody else says yes. So what should I tell the guy that says no? Sorry, Dave, you're outvoted from, it looks like about 72 to 1 right now. So, yeah, that's Dave says, F you, Dave. So that's Dave talking to himself there. So we'll continue with this next week, and you can kind of see how it ends up, and that he still gets in this particular part, he gets kind of what he wants, but not enough. But in the end of the meeting, he did get it because he showed how much he cared, and he showed that he was different. So, and yeah, Missy, if you can help me remember this slide too. I don't know what slide I'm on, but I'll write it down, or I'll text you. Thanks, guys. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you all next week. Thanks, everybody.